I always thought I'd get taken out by high cholesterol or maybe a loose ladder rung. Not my wife. Not some guy in gym shorts sneaking through the side gate while I was clocking in overtime at the plant. But hey, here we are. Our house sits at the end of a cul-de-sac in one of those safe, Ohio neighborhoods where everyone owns a Ring doorbell, keeps their lawn mower blade sharp, and waves at each other like extras in a prescription drug commercial. You know the type. My neighbors mow on Sundays. They gossip in driveways. And apparently, they also get front row seats to betrayal. It started small, like a creaky floorboard you ignore until it collapses under your weight. Amy, my wife of 10 years, mother of my 2 kids, expert coupon hoarder, started giggling at her phone too much. Now, I'm not anti-laughter, but there's a certain pitch to a laugh that tells you it ain't a TikTok dog video. Especially when it's 11:43 p.m. and she's got that weird "who me" smile plastered on like a bad actress in a detergent commercial. Then came the Target runs. "Need anything, babe?" she'd ask, jingling her keys like a sitcom character about to cause trouble. "Just need some me time. I'm stressed." Stressed? From what? Her toughest decision each day was whether to air dry or tumble dry the bath towels. Anyway, the first few times, I shrugged it off. Figured maybe she just needed space. Maybe menopause was creeping in early, and this was some weird phase. But the late-night runs started happening more often, every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, like it was part of some discount shopping ritual. And every time, the same thing. She'd come back looking different. Hair fluffed, lip gloss redder than when she left, smelling faintly of cologne I don't own. That's when I checked the Ring app. Now, I'm not some tech wizard. I still call it the Facebook half the time. But even I knew something was off when I opened the app one night and found a blank gap right where her car should have been pulling out of the driveway. Error. No footage available. Interesting. So I checked the settings, and what do you know? Motion alerts were disabled from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., specifically on the days she went shopping. I didn't set that schedule. The kids are too young to know how. That left Amy. At that point, I could have confronted her. Asked point blank, "Who are you seeing while I'm out busting my back for this mortgage?" But no, I wanted proof. I wanted it airtight. Bulletproof. I didn't want tears or excuses. I wanted a smoking gun. So I did what any blue-collar dad with decent Wi-Fi and a grudge would do. I bought a $40 mini-cam off Amazon and stuck it inside a fake planter by the porch. I angled it just right, using a shovel handle for leverage. I didn't tell anyone, not even my brother, and we tell each other everything, including how often we pretend to be asleep when the kids start crying. And then, I waited. The first few nights? Nothing. Just squirrels and one drunk neighbor peeing in his hydrangeas. Then came Tuesday. I got the alert at 9:12 p.m. Amy had left 10 minutes prior in her usual Target outfit. Yoga pants, full face of makeup, and that purple hoodie she thinks hides everything. The video showed what I suspected but still wasn't ready for. A black SUV pulls up, definitely not a delivery truck. Out steps some tall guy in a backwards cap and those ugly white sneakers that look like marshmallows. He walks straight to our gate, types in the side door keypad like he's been doing it for years, and vanishes around back. My stomach did this weird flip thing. Not heartbreak, more like rage marinated in disbelief. This wasn't just a fling. This was routine. The video was clear. High def, 1080p betrayal. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I made popcorn and watched it again with the lights off like it was a movie. Because honestly, it kind of was. By Thursday, I had footage from 3 nights in a row. Same SUV. Same marshmallow shoes. Same door code. Amy, for her part, acted normal. Except now she hummed while folding laundry, which I assume was guilt trying to wear a happy face. Here's the thing. When people cheat, they start acting better. They kiss you more. They clean the house. It's like their soul knows it's screwing you over and tries to balance the karma. I let it go for 1 more week. Collected the clips. Logged the dates. Noted her mood shifts. I even mapped out the guy's license plate from the footage. Ran it through a buddy who works at the DMV. Turns out Mr. Marshmallow Shoes lives 2 towns over. Married. With kids. Lovely. So yeah, I had what I needed. The question was, what now? A normal guy might lawyer up. Cry. Confront. Maybe post a cryptic meme on Facebook about loyalty and wolves, or whatever. But I'm not normal. I'm methodical. Petty. Patient. And I have a Canva account. The revenge plan was simple. Create a fake neighborhood watch newsletter complete with neighborhood safety tips, gardening tips, and of course, suspicious activity alert. Right there in the middle, screenshots from my hidden porch cam. Time-stamped. Labeled. Side by side with a picture of Amy taken from our last barbecue. Title: Recognize this visitor? Oh, I was going to mail it. Every house. Every mailbox. Every nosy neighbor who waves too hard and waters their lawn twice a day. I wanted whispers. I wanted HOA drama. But that's future. First, I needed to sit through another Sunday morning pancake breakfast with Amy pretending like her syrup smile wasn't dripping in lies. I poured the coffee. Smiled back. Game on. Sunday mornings used to mean coffee and cartoons with the kids. Maybe some bacon if I was feeling generous or bored enough to forget cholesterol existed. But now, it meant theater. Full-blown, Emmy-worthy theater. Amy, my darling wife, was in her robe playing the role of devoted mom and faithful spouse, with all the grace of a local church musical. She hummed while flipping pancakes, wore a soft smile, kissed my cheek like it meant something. It didn't. I knew where those lips had been 6 hours earlier. Probably left smudges on Marshmallow Shoe's windshield. Want whipped cream on yours? She asked, holding up the can like it was some kind of peace offering. Sure, I said. Go big or go home, right? She laughed, unaware I had a full video library of her extracurriculars saved in a folder labeled taxes. I gave it that name just in case the kids ever clicked the wrong icon. No one wants to open anything marked 2023 tax docs. I chewed through the pancakes while she chatted about reorganizing the garage and maybe repainting the bathroom. Amazing how she suddenly cared about home projects again. Guilt's a hell of a motivator. I might run to Target later, she said casually, not even flinching. I wanted to ask her if she was picking up milk or just getting her nightly cardio in with Derek from Canton. Yeah, I knew his name now, thanks to the license plate search and a bit of light Facebook stalking. Married. 2 kids. Soccer coach. Real pillar of the community when he's not sneaking into side doors like a raccoon. Instead, I just nodded and said, cool. Don't forget the detergent. By Monday, I was in Canva like a madman. I'd never used it before, but let me tell you, once you get past the cutesy fonts and the endless photo options of smiling dogs, it becomes a beautiful weapon. I started with the layout, basic newsletter template. Gave it a title, The Briarwood Bulletin. Subhead, your monthly update on neighborhood safety, community events, and visitor alerts. In hindsight, that last part was maybe a bit too snarky, but I wasn't aiming for subtlety. I threw in a clip art badge and a stock photo of a security camera to make it look legit. Then I got to the real meat. Suspicious activity, ongoing incidents on Foxglove Court. Below that, I dropped 3 stills. Amy leaving in her purple hoodie. Mr. Marshmallow pulling up in his SUV. Him entering through the side gate. All time-stamped. All captioned with things like unknown male visitor at 9:18 p.m. and resident vehicle absent during entry. I even used those red arrows like you see in TMZ photos. Real professional stuff. Then I added a blurb. Residents are encouraged to be alert. A pattern of late-night activity involving non-resident males accessing homes while spouses are away has been documented. Please check your camera footage and report any suspicious patterns. I signed it Concerned Neighbor, included a fake Gmail address I made just for this, and even added a fake upcoming HOA meeting date for community discussion. It was scheduled for next Saturday. I booked the clubhouse myself, $75 deposit. Worth every penny. Next step? Distribution. I printed 30 copies at the local library, double-sided, glossy paper. The librarian raised an eyebrow at my newsletter, but I told her it was for a safety initiative, which, honestly, wasn't a total lie. People needed to be safe, from people like Amy and Derek. That evening, I waited until dusk, pulled on a hoodie, and walked the cul-de-sac under the guise of taking a long phone call. Every mailbox got one. Even the Thompsons, who I knew were on vacation in Florida. Didn't matter. They'd come home eventually and get their slice of drama pie. The next morning was electric. By 8 a.m., the neighborhood Facebook group lit up. Did anyone else get this? One woman posted, attaching a blurry photo of the bulletin. Comments exploded. I thought it was a joke at first, but that car looks familiar. Is this about someone on Foxglove? That's our street. Our HOA president better address this ASAP. By 10 a.m., the neighborhood group chat Amy belonged to was buzzing like a hornet's nest. She hadn't said anything yet. She was probably still sipping coffee in the kitchen, completely unaware that she was now a headline. At 10:13 a.m., she came storming into the living room holding one of the flyers. "What the hell is this?" she demanded, waving the paper like it had personally insulted her mother. I looked up from the couch. "Oh, that. Yeah, I got one too. Some weirdo with a newsletter, I guess. Did you make this?" Her voice was tight, like a stretched rubber band about to snap. "Do I look like I know how to make a newsletter?" I held up my phone, playing dumb. "I just learned how to attach PDFs last month." She didn't buy it, but she didn't have proof either. That's the beauty of anonymous printing and public Wi-Fi. That evening, she started texting people. I knew because she sat on the couch furiously tapping away, occasionally muttering slander and how dare they. Meanwhile, I popped popcorn and put on ESPN. Now here's the kicker. By Wednesday, I got an email at the fake Gmail I set up for the newsletter. Someone had actually written in. Subject line, "I think I know who it is." It was from Derek's wife. She'd seen the newsletter, saw the car, saw the timestamps. And then, with the slow dread of someone realizing they'd been duped for months, she put it all together. She asked for more footage, said she didn't want to believe it, but needed to know for sure. So I sent it. Every clip, every second, from door unlocked to side gate exit. I even included the one where he stumbled on a garden hose and almost fell. That part felt extra good. I didn't sign off with a name. Just wrote, "You deserve the truth." More than she gave me. Now, the final act was in motion. Saturday arrived. HOA clubhouse. Neighborhood safety forum. Coffee, cookies, folding chairs. Maybe 15 people showed. Including Amy. Including Derek's wife. I didn't invite them. But I sure wasn't surprised. Amy looked rattled. She saw the other woman and turned pale. Derek's wife walked in calm, too calm. She carried a folder. Sat in the front. I stood up. Introduced myself as the organizer. Thanked everyone for coming. Told them we'd be reviewing some recent community events. Played the slideshow. Blurred out faces, but left enough detail that no one could mistake who the stars were. Gasps. Awkward shuffling. Someone whispered, "Jesus Christ," under their breath. Amy stood. Shouted, "This is harassment. This is sick." That's when Derek's wife stood too. She didn't say a word. Just walked up to Amy, opened the folder, and handed her a stack of divorce papers. The room went dead silent. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I just sipped my coffee and said, "Well, that concludes the safety portion of the meeting." Amy looked at me. I looked right back. No words. Just understanding. Checkmate. And that was just the beginning. You ever watch a sandcastle collapse in slow motion? That was Amy, the morning after the HOA meeting. She didn't slam doors. She didn't scream. No, what she did was worse. She went quiet. The kind of quiet that screams on the inside. You know when someone's trying to pretend nothing happened, but their eyes twitch like they're replaying a car crash? That was breakfast. She buttered toast like it was a personal attack. Sipped coffee like it had betrayed her. Sat across from me in her fluffy bathrobe, staring at a spot on the wall like it owed her money. "You sleeping okay?" I asked, deadpan behind my mug. "Fine," she snapped. "Why wouldn't I be?" I gave a slow shrug. "Just asking." Because here's the thing. When you detonate a nuclear bomb in someone's fake little fantasy life, they don't scream right away. First, they try to tape the pieces back together. Deny it. Rewrite it. Pretend they can salvage it with enough duct tape and fake tears. That's what Amy did. She went into full PR mode. By noon, she was baking cookies. Baking. The same woman who once burned toast and blamed the toaster was now elbow deep in flour and Pinterest recipes. She brought some over to the neighbors like she was running for mayor. "Oh, just wanted to say hi," she chirped. "Been meaning to connect more." Yeah, sure. Nothing says innocent like unsolicited chocolate chip cookies the day after your affair goes public in a community slideshow. I watched her from the window, sipping my beer like it was a front row seat to the apocalypse. She knocked on Mrs. Langley's door, the queen of our block, retired school principal, runs the book club, and has never smiled once in recorded history. Mrs. Langley opened the door, took one look at Amy, then the Tupperware, and shut it without saying a word. Brutal. Amy came back in, looking like someone had slapped her with a raw trout. She didn't speak, just walked past me, dumped the cookies on the counter, and went upstairs. That night, she didn't say much. Just sat on the couch scrolling through her phone with that half-dead look in her eyes. Probably trying to figure out who had ratted her out. She still hadn't connected the dots. Still didn't know it was me. And I wasn't about to give her closure. See, Amy thought the worst was over. She thought a little neighborhood gossip and some awkward stares were the climax. She was wrong. Because I hadn't told the kids yet. Yeah, we've got two. Emma, 9, and Tyler, 6. Sweet, smart, and thank God too young to fully understand betrayal. But they weren't going to stay in the dark forever. And I decided they deserved better than a lie-covered home where mommy's late-night Target runs meant something dirty. So I planned my move. But I needed one more push. One last humiliation to make sure Amy never forgot who she screwed over. Her birthday was coming up in 2 weeks. She was turning 39, though she told everyone 35. I'd already canceled the dinner reservation she didn't know I made. Good thing, too. Why waste a steakhouse evening on someone who'd traded loyalty for parking lot hookups? Instead, I had something else in mind. She always wanted a surprise party. Said it was on her bucket list. Said she dreamed of friends yelling surprise while she stood in the doorway fake shocked. Well, I'd give her one. The guest list was simple. Her family, her friends, a few co-workers she still talked to. And, just for spice, Derek's wife. She RSVP'd yes with a smiley face emoji and the words, "I wouldn't miss it." I booked the community clubhouse again. Told Amy I'd be working late that Friday and she should relax. Maybe treat herself to a bubble bath. Meanwhile, I worked the party behind the scenes like a man planning a heist. Theme: a decade of Amy. Decor: photos of her through the years, baby pics, wedding pics, even some from our last vacation. I found one where she was smiling on a beach, holding a book and wearing sunglasses, probably thinking she looked like a rom-com lead. I printed it poster size and hung it above the cake table. And the cake? Oh man, the cake. White frosting, pink trim. Looked innocent. Until you read the words. To 10 glorious years of fidelity. Oops, our mistake. Yeah, that one took the baker a second to understand. But once she got it, she didn't even flinch. Just nodded and said, "That'll be an extra $5 for custom lettering." I paid it gladly. Friday arrived. I told Amy I'd be working late, and left at 5 p.m., suit and tie, briefcase and all. Drove 2 blocks, parked, and walked to the clubhouse through the back. Guests trickled in. Some smiled nervously. Some looked unsure why they were there. Derek's wife showed up early. Wore red. Brought wine. She handed me the bottle and said, "I brought the good stuff. Thought your ex deserved a toast." We shared a laugh. A bitter one, but real. By 7:30, everyone was in place. I texted Amy. Surprise party. Community clubhouse. Come now. No emojis. No punctuation. Just those 7 words. 10 minutes later, the door opened. And in walked Amy. Her face went through 12 expressions in 5 seconds. Confusion, delight, suspicion, and finally, dread. She saw the crowd. The banner. The cake. The picture. The people. And then, she saw Derek's wife. Silence. Thick as fog. Someone clapped. One of her aunts, bless her heart, probably hadn't read the cake yet. Amy didn't speak. Her eyes darted around, looking for an escape. I stepped forward. "Happy birthday," I said. "Thought we'd celebrate all the shared memories." She blinked. "What is this?" "It's everything you wanted, right?" I gestured to the room. "Your people, your party, your legacy." And then, Derek's wife raised her glass. "To Amy," she said. "Proof that lies have short legs, but long echoes." The room exhaled. Amy turned red, then pale, then red again. She stormed out. Slammed the door so hard one of the paper lanterns fell. Someone cut the cake. Because why not? Frosting still frosting. Afterward, I packed up in silence. Tossed the leftover decorations in a bin marked memories. Said goodbye to a few stragglers. Derek's wife patted my shoulder on the way out. "She'll never live this down," she said. That was biblical. I just nodded. Amy didn't come home that night. Or the next. When she did, she didn't speak. Just walked in, grabbed a suitcase, and started packing. She didn't even look at me. Like maybe if she didn't acknowledge me, none of it was real. I watched from the hallway. "You forgot your robe," I said, tossing it to her. "You'll need it. Your dignity's already gone." She didn't answer. Just walked out. The door clicked shut like a coffin lid. And just like that, peace. But I wasn't done. Because see, there's always one more twist. One more match to light. And I knew exactly where to strike next. You ever see a spider crawl back into a web it just burned? That was Amy after the party. And yeah, I know spiders don't burn their own webs, but stick with the metaphor. She was cooked. Charred pride. Toasted reputation. A walking house fire of embarrassment. After storming out of her surprise party, she stayed gone for 72 hours. No calls. No texts. No dramatic voicemail sobs begging for forgiveness. Just radio silence. I figured she was holed up at her sister's place, licking her wounds and crafting a sob story that somehow made me the villain. Then, on Monday afternoon, she showed up again. No knock. No warning. Just her key in the door and the sound of a suitcase being dragged across the tile. I was in the kitchen nursing a sandwich and a quiet afternoon when I heard it. She walked in wearing sunglasses, indoors, like a washed-up celebrity in denial. Her hair was a mess. No makeup. Hoodie zipped to the neck like she was in witness protection. She didn't look at me. I waited. She dropped the suitcase near the stairs, exhaled hard through her nose like she'd just run a mile, and said, "I'll be staying in the guest room for now." I didn't respond. Just took a bite of my sandwich. A beat passed. "I talked to my mom," she added, like that was supposed to impress me. "She said you were cruel." Still chewing. "She said you humiliated me. In front of everyone." I finally swallowed, wiped my mouth with a napkin, and said, "Good to know your mom saw the slideshow." I was worried the projector resolution might have been too low. That shut her up. She went upstairs without another word. Guest room door closed. Lock clicked. Here's the funny part. She thought this was salvageable. She really believed this was just a bump in the road. A bad month. A dramatic chapter in our marriage memoir. She didn't know I'd already spoken to a lawyer. His name was Frank Delaney. Wore a BOLO tie and had the kind of voice that made every sentence sound like a warning. He didn't ask me why I was there. Just handed me a form and said, "Let's make sure she doesn't take the house with her guilt." Smart man. We started with the basics, documentation of the affair, the evidence, the videos, timestamps, neighbor statements if needed. Turns out, public humiliation isn't just therapeutic, it's strategic. She couldn't claim innocence. Couldn't pretend she was the victim. Not when the entire neighborhood had seen her special visitor on screen. Frank assured me we were in a good position. I nodded, told him I'd gather everything and come back the next week. Then I started preparing my final play. See, revenge isn't just about the moment. It's about the ripple, the aftershock. Amy was still in denial. Still thought she could crawl back, maybe cry a little, maybe shift the blame. But I wanted her to feel the full weight of her decisions. Not just at home, everywhere. So I called her work. No, I didn't drop the nuclear bomb yet. I just asked a polite question. Does your marketing team allow personal relationships with clients during hours covered by company resources? The woman on the other end paused. "I'm sorry, who is this?" "Just a concerned husband with evidence. I'm trying to confirm whether extramarital rendezvous during work hours in a company-leased vehicle violate HR policies." Another pause. Then I think you should speak to HR directly. I'd love to. I didn't even have to send the footage. Just mentioning it was enough. 2 hours later, Amy's phone rang upstairs. Loud. Urgent. Her ringtone was still that awful Maroon 5 song. Fitting, really. She didn't answer. I heard pacing. Muffled swearing. A slammed drawer. By dinner time, she was sitting at the kitchen table, arms crossed, face blank. "I might lose my job," she said flatly. I nodded. "Yeah, the economy's rough." "You called them?" "Nope. Just asked a question. Free speech and all that." She stared at me. I could see the gears grinding in her skull, trying to figure out the angle. But there was none. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't crying. I wasn't breaking dishes or throwing punches. I was just done. And that scared her more than any tantrum ever could. That night, she didn't go upstairs. She slept on the couch. I know because I walked down at 2 a.m. for a glass of water and saw her curled up under a throw blanket, eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. Couldn't even muster a fake snore. Good. Meanwhile, I made moves. Told the kids we were going to Grandma's next weekend, my mom's, not hers. Took them out for ice cream. Laughed with them. Played board games. Rebuilt normal, one day at a time. Amy tried to join in once. Asked Emma if she wanted to bake together. Emma looked at her, then at me, and said, "I like Daddy's cookies better." Oof. Amy flinched. Didn't say another word. Now here's where it gets good. On Thursday, I got a call from Frank. "Got an update," he said. "Amy's lawyer reached out." "She lawyered up already?" I asked, amused. "Yeah, And she's asking for mediation. Of course she is. They're suggesting a no-fault split. 50-50 assets. I laughed. Tell them she can have 50% of the lies and the laundry. I'll keep the house, the kids, and my damn peace. Frank chuckled. We'll push back. I hung up, sat back, took a deep breath. Then the doorbell rang. I opened it. There stood Derek. Derek. He looked rough. Eyes bloodshot. Hair disheveled. He held an envelope in one hand and a bottle of wine in the other. I need to talk, he said. I leaned against the doorframe. Pretty bold, showing up here. I didn't know, he said quickly. She didn't tell me she was married. She said you were separated. Sure she did. She said it was temporary, that you were living apart. And that I was probably cheating too? Yeah, I've heard her greatest hits. He looked down. I just wanted to apologize. I stared at him. Thought about all the ways I could break his nose without legal consequences. Then thought about how pointless that would be. Apologies late, I said. But thanks for delivering it personally. He held out the envelope. This is for her. She's been trying to call me. I changed my number. I didn't take it. You give it to her. He nodded, turned, walked down the steps, and into his car. Amy got the envelope that night. Inside was a note. No flowers. No love letter. Just 2 lines. I can't be with someone who lies like that. You wrecked 2 homes. She read it in silence. Folded it. Walked out to the backyard and stood there for 20 minutes, just staring at nothing. I watched from the kitchen window. Didn't say a word. And still, I wasn't finished. Because the final blow was coming. A clean, permanent one. Next week was mediation. And I had one last ace up my sleeve. It wasn't about making her cry anymore. It was about making sure she never forgot who she betrayed. And what it cost her. Mediation was set for the following Tuesday, 9 a.m. sharp, in one of those sterile office parks with tinted windows and too much parking for the amount of actual business happening inside. The kind of place where marriages go to officially flatline, while everyone pretends it's amicable. Amy didn't say a word about it all weekend. She just floated around the house like a balloon someone forgot to tie down. She cooked, uninvited, cleaned the garage, asked me twice if I needed anything from the store. She even folded my socks and lined up my work boots by the door like it was 2014 again, and the biggest thing we argued about was whether to buy organic eggs. I ignored it all. On Sunday night, she tried again. Came downstairs wearing pajamas she hadn't touched in years. The pink satin ones. The ones she used to wear when she wanted something. I'm not doing this, I said without looking up from the TV. Doing what? She asked, feigning ignorance like a child caught with a broken vase behind her back. Whatever this is. The oops I cheated, but I'm still cute routine. Her face dropped like I'd pulled the curtain off the stage mid-act. You don't have to be so cold. And you didn't have to let Derek rehearse his cardio in our bedroom, I said, finally turning to face her. That was it. The last word of the night. She went upstairs. Alone. Again. The next morning, I dropped the kids off at school early. Emma hugged me hard. Tyler gave me a sticky high five. Amy stayed behind. I didn't trust myself to look at her while buckling the car seats. I met Frank at the mediation office 10 minutes early. He had that same calm, unreadable lawyer expression, like a poker dealer who's seen people lose everything with a pair of sevens and a weak bluff. You ready? He asked, holding the door open for me. Born ready. We stepped inside. Cool air. Dull beige walls. A receptionist who looked like she hated every life choice that led her there. She pointed us to conference room B. Amy was already inside, sitting with her lawyer, a thin guy in loafers and a desperate haircut who looked like he got his JD from a cereal box. She glanced up when I walked in, then looked away fast, like I was the sun and she'd forgotten her emotional SPF. We all sat. Frank handed me a folder. I didn't open it yet. I already knew what was inside. The mediator entered, middle-aged, vaguely friendly, the kind of guy you'd cast as a neutral third party in a made-for-TV divorce drama. He greeted us all, shuffled papers, and did the obligatory speech about conflict resolution and finding common ground. Right, because betrayal has a middle ground. Amy's lawyer started. Wanted a fair and equitable division of assets. Half the house, joint custody, shared car usage, spousal support for 6 months to maintain lifestyle while she finds work. I almost laughed. Frank didn't blink. We're rejecting that. Loafer lawyer shifted in his seat. You haven't even heard the counter. I don't need to, Frank said coolly. We're filing under fault. Adultery. documented, and distributed. Amy flinched like he'd fired a gun next to her ear. Frank continued. My client has video evidence, timestamps, corroborating testimony from multiple neighbors, and even the acknowledgement of the affair partner's spouse. We're prepared to present this in court if necessary. Mediator blinked. Perhaps we can. Frank cut him off. We're willing to offer a settlement. Amy gets her personal belongings. Half the joint savings, minus recent unauthorized expenditures, which we've itemized. My client retains the house, primary custody, and all vehicles. No spousal support. If she agrees now, we won't push for legal fees or public court hearings. Silence. Amy's lawyer looked at her. She looked at her lap. Her fingers gripped the edge of the table like it might keep her from floating away. This is excessive, Loafer lawyer said. You're trying to punish her. She punished herself, I said, finally speaking. I'm just documenting it. Amy's voice came out cracked. Can we talk outside? Sure, I said, standing. Frank gave me a nod, permission granted. We stepped into the hallway. Just the two of us. She didn't speak for a moment. Just stared at a potted plant like it held answers. I made a mistake, she said finally, soft. No, I said. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. Leaving the stove on. What you did was a campaign. A double life. That's not a mistake. That's a series of decisions made with confidence and a dash of perfume. Tears welled in her eyes. She blinked them back. I didn't think it would go that far, she whispered. None of you ever do. I thought he loved me. Then maybe he should be here, I said, stepping closer. Holding your hand. Signing papers. Fighting for you. But he's not. Because you weren't his future, you were his hobby. That landed. Hard. She nodded slowly. Swallowed whatever pride she had left. I'll agree, she said. I'll sign. I looked her dead in the eyes. Good. We went back inside. She signed. Her lawyer looked like he'd been kicked in the throat. Frank nodded, satisfied. The mediator looked relieved, like someone had just diffused a bomb under the table. It was done. Amy left first. No eye contact. No goodbye. Just the click of heels on tile and a door swinging shut. Frank patted my shoulder. You did well. I nodded. It's not about winning. He raised an eyebrow. No, it's about ending it right. Later that day, I picked up the kids from school. Emma ran to me first. Daddy, we had a science fair. I lifted her up. Yeah? Did you win? Almost, she said, beaming. But Tyler ate part of the volcano. I laughed. That sounds about right. We went home, ate dinner, watched a movie, normal things. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel the weight of lies hanging in the air. Amy didn't come back. She didn't call, didn't send one last message or try to twist the knife with guilt or nostalgia. She just vanished, like a ghost in a story that finally found its ending. But I wasn't done. Not quite yet. Because there was still one more chapter one hadn't opened. The one labeled Future. And it didn't include her. You'd think that after everything, after the videos, the newsletter, the party, and the mediation, I'd feel something dramatic. Relief, maybe. Or vindication. Maybe even a splash of guilt if I were built softer. But no. What I felt, mostly, was hungry. Like, literally hungry. That night after mediation, I made a burger the size of my own regrets and ate it in complete silence while the kids watched a cartoon about talking robots who solve crimes. Every bite tasted like closure. Amy was gone. And I mean really gone. She left the guest room key on the kitchen counter. Took her suitcases, her vanity mirror, and, bless her cold little heart, her stash of essential oils. The house smelled like lemongrass and denial for 3 days. Then it faded. Like everything else. I'd changed the locks within 24 hours. Security system too. Hell, I even updated the Wi-Fi name to no cheaters allowed _5G, just in case she got cute. It was mine now. The house. The routine. The life. And God, was it quiet. At first, the silence was weird. Like walking into a theater after the movie ends and the credits are still rolling, but no one's left. You don't know whether to clap or just slowly back out. But I adjusted. Tossed her old throw pillows. Gave the guest room a fresh coat of paint. Something masculine and boring, like a bachelor trying not to look like a bachelor. Got rid of the live, laugh, love signs she plastered everywhere like spiritual graffiti. That one in the bathroom. The one that said every day is a blessing. Yeah, I replaced it with a wall clock shaped like a tire. Felt better. The kids adapted, too. Kids are resilient, especially when they see you calm. Emma started calling me Chef Dad whenever I made breakfast, and Tyler developed a weird obsession with organizing the pantry. I didn't question it. I just let them find their rhythm. Then one afternoon, about a month after the ink dried on the divorce papers, I got a letter in the mail. Real paper. Handwritten. No return address, but the handwriting might as well have been signed in glitter pen. It was from Amy. I didn't open it right away. Left it on the counter for a while. Made coffee. Cleaned the sink. Fed the dog. Then finally, curiosity got the better of me. It was 3 pages. Loopy cursive. Way too many commas. The highlights? She was sorry. Not just the "I messed up" kind of sorry, but the "I was lost, you were good to me, I didn't know how to love myself" Hallmark movie monologue kind of sorry. She admitted it all. Derek, the late-night lies, the fake me time. Claimed it wasn't about me. Said she thought I was too perfect, and she felt small next to that. I laughed out loud at that one. Perfect? I once melted a plastic cutting board on the stove because I thought it was a hot plate. But sure, blame my non-existent perfection. The last paragraph was the best, though. She wrote, "I still think about us. About the family we were. I hope, maybe someday, when the dust settles, we can sit down and talk. Just talk." She even added a phone number. Said it was new. Said she'd understand if I didn't call. I folded the letter, walked it out to the fire pit, and burned it. No drama. Just ash. Because here's the truth. There's no conversation worth having with someone who only wanted you back when no one else did. Closure isn't a shared coffee or a deep sigh across a park bench. It's a locked door. It's a one-sided goodbye. It's a story ending without applause. And mine was done. But fate, because it has a sick sense of humor, wasn't quite finished. It happened 3 weeks later at the hardware store. I was in the plumbing aisle, staring at a wall of PVC elbows and wondering if I had the energy to fix the damn leak under the sink, when I heard a familiar voice behind me. "Brian." I turned, and there she was, Derek's wife. Her name was Melissa. We hadn't spoken since the birthday party, just exchanged nods and shared revenge by proximity. But now she was standing in front of me in jeans and a sweatshirt, holding a can of paint and looking normal, like someone who'd survived a storm and was rebuilding in peace. "Hey," I said. She smiled, a little sheepishly. "Didn't expect to see you here." "Yeah, I like to spend my weekends pretending I know what a P-trap is." She laughed. "Same." We stood there awkwardly for a second. Then she said, "I heard Amy moved." "Yeah. New city. New job. New set of people to disappoint." Another laugh. Less awkward now. We chatted for 10 minutes. Maybe 15. About kids. Court dates. Life after betrayal. I told her about Emma's science fair volcano. She told me Derek moved to Arizona and tried to reconnect with his teenage son by teaching him how to grill. It didn't go well. Then she asked, "You want to grab a coffee sometime?" I hesitated for exactly one breath. Not because I didn't want to, but because I wasn't sure if I was ready. Then I realized I didn't need to be ready. I just needed to be free. "Yeah," I said. "I'd like that." So we did. And no, it didn't turn into some rom-com epilogue with wedding bells and blended families and golden retrievers. It was just coffee. Simple, clean, honest. And that, after all the chaos, was the best revenge of all. Living, laughing, and never, ever looking back. Subscribe to the channel